Hi, mommies. This is Tanya, Noor's mom. So, today I'm going to be speaking to you all about mouthing in babies. So, what is mouthing? Mouthing means when babies put everything that is around them in their mouth. So I get a lot of questions around, mouthing, that my baby's putting everything in his mouth. How do I stop him from doing so? How do I do any activity with him when all he's interested in is eating or putting those things in his mouth? So I am here to solve all your questions. So let me break the myth for you. Mouthing is a very normal and important part of your baby's development. Yes, it is normal and it is important. All babies mouth objects. Mouthing starts anywhere between 3 to 5 months and it peaks at 6 months and it starts to fade away slowly by 18 to 24 months. Because by 2 years of age, children start using their fingers to explore objects. And by 3 or 4 years max, it gets eliminated or it goes away on its own. Yes, mouthing can take as long as 3 to 4 years, but you don't need to be scared about it at all. In order to understand why mouthing is so normal and so important, we first must see why do babies actually mouth. So, number one, they mouth in order to explore their world, their surroundings. So, when babies are small, around the 3 or 4th month mark, they are mostly on their backs. They are lying down. All they can do is just move their arms or hands or feet a little. So, the only way they can explore things around them, express themselves, is by putting their own fingers or any other toys or objects that you give them in their mouth. Now, they do that because the mouth is the only body part that has the most number of nerve endings, and these nerve endings help the brain understand different textures, tastes, sounds, odors. So that is also a reason why, sometimes when the baby is in the womb, even then, whenever we get those scans done, we sometimes see the baby's fingers or thumb is in his mouth. That is mouthing. It can begin even before birth, and it is very, very normal. It is God's way. It is the body's way of making the child learn about his environment, his surroundings. So, this is the main reason why children mouth their fingers, toys, even your fingers, their own feet, just to get to know about that object. The second reason is babies mouth when they're teething. So we know that when babies are teething, their gums are swollen, they are inflamed, so they are in a lot of pain, and the only way to relieve them of that pain is by taking their own fingers or any other objects in their mouth to chew on them, and that makes them feel better. And the third reason why babies mouth is to self-soothe themselves. So, mouthing, whenever children are mouthing something or they are putting their fingers in their own mouth, it gives them a very, very calming effect, soothing effect. So, whenever the child is in any kind of distress, he's feeling uncomfortable, he's hungry, sleepy, tired, something is troubling him, that is when usually children mouth either their fingers, their thumb, or even their toys. That give that suckling, that having something in their mouth, sucking on their fingers, that gives their body that calm effect, soothing effect, and that helps them soothe. So these are the three reasons why babies mouth. Now, like I said, mouthing is a very, very important part of development. You must be wondering that what is she saying? Is that really true? How can mouthing be important? And can it even have benefits? Yes. So, the number one is that it, like I said earlier, helps the baby explore and satisfy his curiosity. He learns about new tastes, textures, everything about new objects around him through mouthing. Second, when babies put things in their mouth, their jaw cheek, tongue muscle all start working. And these, when they start working, they start strengthening and help in development of oral motor skills. It helps in, learning chewing. It helps in speech development later on. And it also makes it easier to start solids for your baby. So, because of this oral development, the child is also able to transition through different food textures from purees to mash to grainy to whole foods very, very easily. Because as they continue mouthing, these muscles keep on developing. Another benefit is that mouthing helps in shifting the baby's gag reflex to the back of the mouth. So, when babies are small, their gag reflex is located somewhere towards the front of the mouth. So, when babies keep on mouthing objects when they are young, around 3 to 6 months of age, it helps their gag reflex go towards the back of the mouth, so that when they start solids, they do not gag or choke on food and they are easily able to take new textures. And lastly, it helps in building their immune system. Yes, their immune system. So when children mouth objects, mouth toys, all that bacteria, virus on them goes inside their bodies, which enables their immune system to recognize these viruses and bacteria better later on and develop antibodies, thereby helping them strengthen their immune system. So that means mouthing is not just a simple activity of baby taking his things in his mouth. It sets the stage for the baby's feeding and speech development, oral motor development, and helping him to build a strong immune system. So this means that mouthing is good and it should be encouraged. But does that mean we can let our children mouth anything they want? Obviously not. We cannot let our children mouth anything. Mouthing also comes with its risks of choking as well as stomach infections. So, how do we tackle that? The number one thing that you must keep in mind is that you must keep away all possible choking hazards away from your child. No small sized objects, no poisonous toxic materials, no cosmetics. Please keep them away. If you don't want your baby to mouth something, the best way is to keep it away. If the baby can't see it, the baby can't put it in his mouth. Second, cleanliness is key here, right? Make sure whatever toys you give to your baby, irrespective of his age, they should be absolutely clean. You should be cleaning them every time they are used, or at least twice a day. So for smaller babies, I would recommend that you should clean their toys every time they are used. And for older babies, you should at least clean their toys twice a day, morning and evening, so as to reduce the risk of infections. Make sure all their surroundings are absolutely clean. Their hands, which if they put their hands in their mouth, are washed every time after a meal, or they come from a visit from a park, or they come from outside, or they've played in mud, or generally after meals you should wash your baby's hands. Also, whatever toys that you do give to your child, make sure they are safe and they are non-toxic, so that even if they end up eating it, there is no major risk as such. Next, make a baby safe mouthing zone. So once your baby is old enough to move around the house, where you can't really supervise what he's doing, what he's mouthing, so it's a good idea to create a small space dedicated to him where he can play alone and he can put anything in his mouth without any danger of choking, toxicity, poisoning, or any other kind of risk. So it can be his playroom where you can organize all his toys, make sure they're clean, and just let him be. But always remember, never ever leave your baby unsupervised with any kind of object like chalks or crayons, or those small size balls or marbles alone, especially till 3 years of age, because you never know when they might want to put them in their mouth. So now you know why mouthing is important and how you can deal with it in a safe manner. But how do you help your baby to stop mouthing objects? The number one important thing to help your baby stop mouthing is to stop telling them no, is to stop discouraging them. The more you say no, the longer it will take for your baby to stop mouthing. Yes, this is true. Please do not stop your baby or discourage your baby from mouthing. This is a very, very common tendency in parents to continuously say, no, no, don't put this in your mouth, don't put this in your mouth, take your hands out, take your hands out. Or if the baby is small, we take our baby's hands out of their mouth continuously, continuously. And you will realize that the baby immediately after that takes it again inside. Some parents, even put bitter substances on their children's hands or fingers. Please do not do this. The more you let your baby mouth it, the faster he will get bored of it. And he will then understand and start exploring things with his fingers and other body parts instead. Right? So, Noor, she used to mouth everything. She was a very, very big mouther till 15 months. And then suddenly I saw this change in her that around the 16th month, she just stopped mouthing. We never ever stopped her from putting anything in her mouth. Of course, we did not let her put any choking hazard in her mouth. We did not keep those things outside. Like I said earlier, if you don't want your baby to mouth on something, if you think it is risky for them, don't keep it in their sight. Don't make it accessible. If it's not there, how will they mouth it? And all the other objects, make sure they're absolutely clean. Use a toy cleaner or use just a washing liquid, soap and water, and just clean everything. And always supervise your child whenever he or she is playing with any toy. We never faced any kind of stomach infection with Noor despite allowing her mouthing everything. So all I did was I never said no to her. The only thing I said was that Noor, this is not for eating, this is for playing. Food is for eating. So for example, if she would put a butterfly toy in her mouth, I would say, Noor, this is not for eating, this is for playing. Food is for eating. And I would let her mouth that toy and gently I would distract her to see something else and she would forget about it. I would never take her hand and get it out like this unless it was a choking hazard. Because the moment you do this, they get more curious. They want to do it again and again. So the more you take their hands out, the more they will do it. And it will be more difficult for you to remove this habit. So please do not take things out of their mouth. The more you allow them to mouth, the more they will understand that this is a very normal thing. And soon they will get bored. Trust me. Trust me when I say this. Second, always model in front of them. So when your child is older, say 1 year plus, and you are trying to do various activities with the child in order to improve his fine motor skills or gross motor skills, and of course activities sometimes have smaller objects. So continuously do that activity in front of your child, irrespective of whether the child is interested or not. Initially he will mouth that object, but you take that object and start doing whatever is supposed to be done with it. For example, when I introduced colors to Noor around 14th or 15th month mark, her first instinct was to put them in her mouth. So I bought non-toxic colors, so I knew that even if she mouths it, it's alright. She mouthed it once, she took it back, then I used to color with them in front of her. And after that activity was over, I would keep it back. It was never ever accessible to her. This kept on repeating. Every time I would take it out, she would taste it. Then I would color it, she would see me. And even if she was not seeing me, I was continuing doing it. Then one day, at around 15, 16 months, she realized that that particular object is for coloring. It is not for eating. And she herself, when I took out the activity, just started coloring with it. And she never mouthed after that. And same with all other activities. However, there are still some situations where she does mouth things which are new to her. For example, if she went to the park and she saw some beautiful flower, she tried to mouth it. I let her mouth it because she just tasted it for like 10 seconds, then she took it out and then I showed her what is its actual use. And this is how children will learn. If you want to do an activity with them, the moment they see that new toy, their first instinct is they want to taste. They want to see how it feels inside their mouth. Because you have never let them taste anything. So their interest is not in the activity then. Their interest is in the objects. They want to taste it. And your entire effort goes for a toss. And then you feel that my child, he doesn't like to do activities. He only eats all these stuff. So I'm scared to introduce. Don't think like this. You've got to introduce stuff within safety, within boundaries, and that is how your baby will learn. If you keep on doing this, this will keep on happening, and then your baby might mouth even till 3 or 4 years. So you have to handle this. You have to tackle this in a very, very, I would say, intelligent manner. And also, when your baby is teething, ensure you do give them teethers, silicone based teethers, non toxic teethers, and even they should be properly sterilized after every use. Not allowing mouthing will actually make your child more fussy, and there's a high chance he might also be a picky eater, a fussy eater later on, and he might not have interest in doing any activities. So if you do not want these three things to happen, let your baby mouth. The more you let them mouth, the more faster they will actually get bored of it and start showing interest in other things. So that's about it. So I hope my video was helpful. Keep writing. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.